has come to finish us, not just to subdue and to rule us. So the most important challenge was, that we have to pass through all these atrocities, all these crimes, and make sure that we as people, we as government survive. But the most important is still we have to restore our basic rights. Atrocities has to be accounted, and there are many political issues that we have to settle. But that's why we are on the way, and we have to go to the finishing line.
Atrocities must be accountable. Is that atrocities by Ethiopian and pro-government forces and atrocities by Tigrayan fighters as well? Because you do stand accused of human rights abuses, rape in the course of the conflict?
We say we are ready for the scrutiny, we are ready for the investigation, but there is no any parallel with what has happened in Tigray. In Tigray, they have done, atrocities. It will take it back to the medieval ages if there are any parallels to what has been done in Tigray. They are looking to say that what has been committed in Tigray is similar to what has been done in other areas. What has been done in Tigray has been done also in other areas, in Afar and in Amhara. No, it's completely different. Whatever has been done in other area, it will be individual discipline issues. What has been done in Tigray was a systematic destruction.
You mentioned Afar, and I wondered what Tigrayan forces were doing at the moment in Afar. We spoke to somebody last night who was there, and they painted a picture of Tigrayan forces destroying villages, communities, attacking civilians. So what are Tigrayan forces doing there?
Our mission was there very limited. We have been attacked, for several times, for several weeks from Afar. Special forces from Afar, militias and some Eritrean forces were conducting operations against our forces. They were crossing Tigray. They were obstructing the humanitarian supplies. They have killed hundreds of Tigrayans. They have looted their properties. Thousands have been arrested. And so finally, we have to respond for security reasons. So we have to remove those who crossed our territory. We have to remove and attack those who are at the proximity of Tigray so that they will not serve this area as a springboard for further attack on our positions. That was a mission, and the scope is very limited.
Okay, so part of the military operation in Afar is to try to clear the road and to enable aid to be delivered to Tigray. Just how bad are things at the moment in the region?
People are dying lack of food. People are dying because of lack of medicine. No communication, be it ground or air transport. There is no cash. Banking services has been suspended. There is no telecom. There is no internet. There is no power. You can imagine the hell our people are living in. The government is using hunger as a tool of war. This is a war crime.
Do you accept that all this suffering can only come to an end when you make your peace with the government of Abiy Ahmed? Are you prepared to do that?
Yes, we are prepared, but I would like to add, from our perspective, we have to give a chance for peace. Without peace, forget about the political resolution of the conflict. We cannot supply our people the necessary food. They will perish because of the siege and blockage. So the only way out is to give peace a chance. That was the reason also for our withdrawal. And we are collaborating also with all the initiatives of AU, Kenya, and the UN.
So you've pulled your forces back to Tigray to give peace a chance. What are your conditions for peace?
Things that have to be done. We have to stop fighting wherever we are. The federal and our forces, let's stop fighting and give a chance for peace. Not only that, but those supplies, the necessary supplies must arrive. Unfortunately, we have a government that kills its own people. So we say, let's stop. This next aid, we have to go to the negotiated ceasefire, a formal ceasefire. Foreign forces must be withdrawn. The Eritrean forces are still in Tigray. They have to withdraw. The Amhara militias are in Tigray. They have to withdraw. Any other foreign intervention must stop. Then we have to continue to the inclusive national dialogue.
Are you talking to the federal government at the moment, if not openly, perhaps through intermediaries?
Yes, we have started talking with the federal government. Of course, there are shuttle communications and discussions. So we'll see. But there are signs of improvement, but we are still waiting. We are waiting for this shuttle diplomacy to bear fruit.
But would it be true to say that you are now perhaps negotiating from a position of weakness rather than strength? You've fallen back, you've retreated to Tigray. The population is being deprived of food. You don't really have any strong cards to play, do you?
No, I disagree. And our withdrawal does not mean we are weak. We are giving peace a chance. No military force has pushed us. We have simply withdrawn. We're on the offensive. We're moving forward, but we said, let's hold. The international community is saying, stop, don't get to this. There will be a bloodshed. So it was a decision to give a chance. We have been fighting, for the last 15 months, as you know. So to defend our right, we'll go the last person. There is no compromising on our right. Our right must be still restored. We have to go to the negotiating table to address the political conflict. The withdrawal must be assured, Eritrean and others. Less than that, we'll never accept. We'll continue our fighting. So this has to be clear. This has to be understood. We have shown to the world how capable we are to defend our right. No force can rule us. We can only be ruled by law, by negotiation, by consent.
That was Debretsion Mikhail, chairman of the TPLF rebel group and current president of the Tigray region in Ethiopia. And listening to that interview was Chetel Tromvol, a professor of peace and conflict studies at Oslo New University College.
It is obvious, as we have seen over the last few weeks, the Tigrayan government are giving the international community an opportunity to put in motion a peace process. They are holding back some of their military engagements, clearly. They have given up a lot of terrain, but at the same time, they are standing their ground to defend the part of Tigray they are controlling, as we see with the recent skirmishes on the Tigray-Afar border. They have entered northern Afar regional state in an attempt, as they explain it, to create a certain buffer zone to stop the continuous kind of attacks inside Eritrean territory. But then they are allowing for peace process to emerge by not, for instance, launching an offensive to take back West Tigray, as also belongs to the Tigrayan regional state.
But are they in a position, in your view, to mount such an offensive? You seem to be saying that they haven't been militarily defeated, that they have just effected a strategic withdrawal.
They claim they have effected a tactical withdrawal. Certainly, they have lost a lot of their troops in the offensives over the last 15 months. But so far as the information we do have indicates that the fighting army of TDF is still intact. They withdrew with their heavy equipment of artillery and lorries and tanks. Their chain of command, their military leadership is still intact. So yes, I still believe that they do have the capacity to launch a new offensive if they so decide.
You heard Debretsion Mikhail say that the Tigrayans were prepared to give peace a chance. Is that also the view, though, of the Ethiopian government?
Well, that's the key question. I think segments of the Ethiopian government, meaning possibly the Prime Minister himself, have shown an interest to establish a dialogue process within Ethiopia as such, but also a process of communication with the Tigrayan leadership. But there are other segments of the government who hold opposing views, who still harbor an interest to settle this one time and for all by military means, meaning the extermination of TPLF and the Tigrayan leadership.
As was articulated the other day by an Ethiopian general.
Correct. So the prime minister is caught in a dilemma, so to say, and the more he is arguing for a peace process, the more resistance he will meet by certain segments of his own party and constituency.
So you don't see peace breaking out anytime soon?
No, I wish it would be, but I think it is. I think it is a very cumbersome, very complicated process ahead. There are certain initiatives which are more positive than others in the sense of trying to have a more comprehensive approach to the situation in Ethiopia. But it is an extremely fragile and complicated political military context in Ethiopia. And we have to keep in mind that the Tigrayan federal government conflict dynamic is just one, the primary one, but you have other civil wars parallel to that.
Kjetil Tronvoll. And still to come on NewsHour, our correspondent assesses the mood in Ukraine preparing for a possible